So here we are, a year and a half in, and we are still going through COVID. Now, as humans, we're going to learn to adapt to that, which we have, as much as we may not like it. It frustrates us. It's part of life. We go from lockdown to no lockdown to restrictions and so forth, and we adapt. And we complain, but we deal with it, and we'll be okay. We'll come out of this okay in the end. But something that we forget about often is our pets. Now, I was talking to my partner, and she brought up a really good point, and we got talking about it, that we think that there's going to be a lot of dogs that are going to suffer separation anxiety once COVID is over. So she prompted me, and I thought it was a good idea to do a video to remind you guys of this, that during COVID, there's a lot of dogs that are being born and people are getting them and they're not getting socialised, not because it's your fault, but you're restricted. So I want to urge you to remember that you need to make an effort to socialise your dogs, even during these restrictions, as much as you can. You may not be seeing the effects of this yet. You think it's all normal and everything's great and you're close to your dog and you're bonded and it's beautiful. But the problem is, when things go back to normal and you go back to work, you're going to see some real issues with a lot of dogs, because suddenly you've gone from 24/7 with your dog to you going to work to 8 hours a day minimum for some people, and you're going to have extreme separation anxiety. And that can be a real problem, to the point where dogs hurt themselves, they get sick, they damage furniture, they do a lot of things. Now, you haven't tried to cause this like anybody. You've been good dog owners and good pet owners, but I'm just trying to make you aware of this, that people need to make an effort. Now, there's a few things you can do to try and be ready for this before you go back to work. One of them is doing your obedience at home, by doing a lot of your stay work and working to hidden stays where you're away from your dog, making a game of it, putting it in a room, and then you go outside and you come back and it's a game and so forth. Another simple one is trying to get in the habit of maybe an hour a day, a couple of hours a day, where your dog is separated from you, even at home. It's put out the back in the yard, or it's put in the room, obviously in a safe environment, but it learns to have time away from you. So you're preparing for when this COVID is over. This is a very serious issue, and I need to remind everyone out there, you may not be seeing this yet, so you're not aware of it, because it's all normal. But when it all goes back, like I said, I think this is going to rear its ugly head, and there's going to be a lot of what we would call COVID dogs. Not that they catch COVID, but they're the victim of the era of COVID, where they get the lack of socialising, which can cross over to also aggressive dogs, because they're not comfortable, they're anxious around other dogs. You may have a dog that's a year and a half old that may have met one, maybe two other dogs in its life, and then suddenly you get free and you take your dog to the dog park or the beach and wonder why your dog is aggressive or is very scared. Most of them won't be aggression, it'll be a fear thing, because it hasn't been around dogs. So I need to make you aware of this. You need to be making an effort, if you're not, to get out and be socialising your dogs and preparing it for when you go back to work. Doing those, like I said, those games at home, having time away, making fun of it, making the effort at night, to have separation from your dog, and be prepared for this, because I think it is something that a lot of people are going to suffer. And on that note, I'm here to help. If you need help with your training, let me know. Hopefully this short clip has prompted a few of you to be aware of this and start preparing for when you do go back to normal. Even if you have been working, you might be 3 hours a day, and then you go back to full hours, which is 8 hours or longer a day. It's going to be a step. So even those people need to be aware of preparing for this. Guys, if you've enjoyed this video and like it, please subscribe, give me a like, maybe a share. I do appreciate it, and I hope it has helped you out and made you aware of these problems before they raise and come up and you have to deal with them later on. Cheers.